Okay. Everything looks decent so far. Alright. Let's just wait for a few more minutes. 1 minute's top. Alright, let's go ahead and get started in this. Alright, so what we're going to do right now is kind of recap on what we did in the last stream with this Angular project. When I was presented this to one of my developer, he had a question as to wondering why did we add up a proxy.php service to handle the request from the Angular frontend to the API server. So I was telling him before, well, what I was telling him when I was talking to him is the issue is that you have a private key that you want to keep hidden. So if you look at the code, right, if you were to use this in JavaScript, oh snaps, here we go. Didn't want to do that code, but well, no, let's do it. Okay. Yeah, this is good enough. So if you look at the code, what you have here is you have to translate what is in PHP to JavaScript. So here you have your variables defined, with the standard definition. And then when you want to translate it to JavaScript, you have to do something like this, where you have your hash, your API key, and your timestamp in here. If you look at the API, which, let me bring that up real quick. Authorization. If you know how the hash is supposed to work, which is a MD5 of timestamp plus private key plus public key. If you know the timestamp and you know the public key and you know what the hash looks like, you can do a brute force method to figure out what the private key is. So for example, if we go back to here, so we know what the hash is, we know what the API key is, and you know what the timestamp is. So you just create a server that will just go through all the possible API keys, API secrets to figure out what the secret is. And since the Marvel API is free to sign up, you can create an account and try to get an idea of how long the secret is, so you can help narrow down the number of values to check. So that's why you don't want to do something like this, where you have your hash, your API key, or your timestamp in here. Which is why I use a proxy service, because if we were to try to view source this goes to a proxy service. So we see where here it goes to the proxy service, and the proxy is the one that handles the authorization with the API service. So that is why we don't want to use a hash it on the front end. Okay. Alright, so now with that cover, let's go ahead and go to the next topic. So let me close these tabs down. I don't need that open either. And I don't need this either. Don't need this anymore. Alright. Okay. So what we're going to go over now is using ngRouting. Actually, sorry, I should say ngRoute because ngRoute is a different directive. But and we're going to use ngRoute and we're going to use ngView. And what we're going to try to do is, so if you were to search for Iron Man, eventually, oh, did I save it? Oh, I gotta reload this. Sorry. How was that? Where we have all these entries, right? So what we want to do is, when you on the home page, you want to bring up one view, and then if I were to click on one of these entries, it will bring me to another view. Okay, so this is mostly for like single page applications where this is why I use ngRoute. So the first thing we want to do is actually load the library onto our page. So let's go to so like I was saying before, if you know what the Angular URL is, right, and you want to add in the other modules, you could kind of guess by putting, you know, dash whatever the module you're looking for. So like sanitize was, if I can spell correctly, is that one. Cookie, cookies. Oh, sorry, just put a period in here. Cookies, and then say what route. Okay. So let's go ahead and put route in here. And like I said before, we're going to do the non-min of each of these libraries for debugging purposes. Obviously, if you were to put this code in production, you want the minify versions for all of these. All right. So we load the right here, and then what we need to do is also tell it, hey, Angular, make sure you load the ngRoute. Okay. Okay. Excuse me. Hold on, let me drink some water. Alright, so what we're going to do now is actually to use the ngView. You have to use the ngView in conjunction with the ngRoute. So what we need to do is set up our route configuration, okay? So what we do is create a function. Dependency injection style, right? I agree too. Try to remember. Route. This should work. Route. Provider. Alright, bam. Alright, that should work. ngRoute provider. Location provider, okay. Alright, let me make sure it works before I even continue doing this. Alright, good. No fatal errors, okay. Alright, so we have the route and the location that we pass into this callback function. Alright, so basically, this is, if you ever use like a PHP framework with that has a RESTful API built in, or if you ever use Express in Node.js, this setup would probably be pretty familiar to you. So the first argument is route provider. So if I spell things correctly, that'll work out better. So this is where we setting up a URL. Sorry, we setting up a rule, a URL where when it decodes the address from the address bar, it knows what to do. Okay, so we're on the home page, but just do the default view. That's about how the when ID. So sorry, man, I'm just out of it today, so I can't even speak properly at all. Yeah. So pretty much we're just gonna kind of follow the guide a little bit, but not too much. So what we're gonna do is this. Let's set up a new folder real quick. Sorry, templates. What we do is, if you're on the home page, we use home.home HTML, and then with home.template, it's going to be like what we had before, where we have pretty much all the entries listed out. So let's go ahead and take this right here and copy this. Alright, take that out. Put that in here. Let's also put this as ngView. Alright, there we go. I'm going back to here. So prox, got this one. So when it's given an ID, load templates / character HTML, which is what we need to create too. So we'll just do a very simple duplicate. We'll do a very simple one. So what we're going to do for character 1, we don't need ing repeat. We'll have a character object. This will take up the whole page. And let's do this right now, okay? Let's go back to this code. So if this is the template URL that's going to load up, and then we tell it what controller it's going to use. Alright, so for this controller we have character page controller, which we'll create later. And then that's about it. That's all we need. Okay. For that one, let's style this a little bit better. When. So also, hold on. Do they have all the functions you can use? So ng, where's the route provider? Route. Alright, they have this. So here we go. So you have this when. This, so basically, otherwise means the last thing. So this is like pretty much like if all else fails, just load this template by default. So otherwise. Controller is. Alright. So we have this. Alright, so I don't know if you guys remember the last stream I'm saying that I'm gonna split up page controller. So let's go ahead and do that process right now. So what we're gonna do is app that controller. So we'll create a home page controller. And dependency injection as always. Scope. Actually put root scope. Scope. Okay. Function. Root scope. Scope. And that's all you need. And let's copy you. And from here, we'll make the character page controller. Alright. So basically what we're going to do is that the home page controller and the character page controller, they're going to inherit from the page controller. So some of these functionality we do not have to redefine again. Alright. So what we need to do is determine how we're going to split up what. Okay. Oh crap, I did this wrong. Hold on. I want the ngView to be not just that. Hold on. Let me do this. Let me fix this really quick. Put this back here. Put this ngView up higher. We want this to be up to here. Okay. And the reason why is because the search should be part of the home page controller. There we go. Alright. And then inspect. This one doesn't have a URL, which change that to you. Alright, good. Alright. So before we even test this out, there are actually a few other things we need to do, okay? So basically right here, where's the, sorry. So we set up the routing rules. However, we need to set up the location rules, which should be in the, I don't know if this example has it. Here it is. And then we're actually, there's another one we need to set up. Actually, I don't know if we need to set up the other rule for it, for location provider. I know in the old version we have to do this hash prefix. And if we do the HTML true, do we need to set enable required page rewrite links? So if we do HTML5 true, we probably don't have to do the hash prefix anymore. So let's just give it a try and see how it works, okay? Alright. So before we first refresh the page, let's put the logic where it's supposed to be put at. So this page controller has this no longer will have these right here. We keep the base URL. Nope, you don't need that at all. So this will go into here. Alright. So what happened is, when you're on the home page, it's going to load the home page controller. The home page controller will have this widget right here. And then all this stuff will be inherited from there. When you do the search, so for example, when you click on, we do the search, it will call here, and this would be scope outside parent. That's it, okay? So it tells you to call this function right here, so that is correct. Alright, good. Now on the character page, so when we decide to click on here, it will bring up the character page. So basically what we need to do is have an ngClick event. So for the ngClick event, so scope that product, scope, so when you click on it, what's going to be, instead of search, would be view character. Alright. And then when you view the character, so you click on it, you will pass in an ID. So let's do character ID. And then what you do is going to do a, should we pass this to the page controller to go? Yeah, technically speaking, we want to pass it to the page controller. So the page controller is going to have a location property to pass to it. This is just, so basically what happened is this: whenever the home page controller wants to load a profile, it tells the parent, hey parent, I want to load up a profile. So we have to call a function on the page controller to update the URL to the, with the ID of the profile we want to load up. And then what that does, it tells the route to change the character control that it loads in the template as well. Alright, so what we need to do is, so you have your URL located, updated. We need to create a function for you. No copyright, no legal. Scope that send proxy load character profile. Oh, sorry, hold on, look at the chat real quick. Alright, sorry, I'm back. Alright, so low character profile. What title does this say? It's AngularJS, yeah. We're going to pass it to a function. Then we're going to pass a character ID. And then, So when we do the location, right, this will be Angular ng location. To then with here we go. So actually we should be able to update the path, and it should, yeah, that's what we should do. Should be able to update the path, and then it will reflect accordingly. So we do that plus character ID, and that should be enough. That should trail it to update the URL. Alright. And that's it. Okay, good. Now, when you click here, it need to be scope.parent dot load profile character ID. So that will happen there. Okay. That will load that profile. That would update the URL, and then character gives will load up next. All right. So I'm almost forgetting this whole argument. So go back to route. That's not under route provider. It's under now on the location providers. Go back to route. So what happened is this: when you have a an argument that you're passing into the URL, you actually could get that URL inside the controller that you load up. So what happened is, for example, in this example, you have book controller. If you see in book controller, it looks for route params. Okay. So since the home page doesn't have any parameters, we're not passing that variable to the home page controller. In the character page controller, we are. So let's do that. Let's do that. And then, okay, that should get enough there. So we get to this later, and we'll show you what this device with this later, okay? Alright, so let's continue going on. So what we need to do next is, so let's make sure that let's get one part working. Let's get the home page controller working first. Alright, cool. Lovely errors. Unexpected token and index online 31. Because never actually this doesn't need to be there. It requires a base to be present, of course. ngView. Even their example doesn't provide a base. So I'm gonna look in their example to see what they did in theirs. ngRoute controller configure. Location HTML. Alright, anyways. Claims I need to provide a base. I'm trying to remember. Please, it's been such a long time since I last did this. If I'm set. So let me look at my router. Otherwise, fail. Yeah, that should be it. Location provider should be set to true. That should be it. Then with that said, I should not be able to. I should need to pass an object to it. I think I messed up something. What did I messed up? Alright, let's look at the route provider. Alright, anyways. hate when I mess up on something very simple. Oh yeah, so we'll just provide a base. So let's pick up HTML5, HTML base URL, which is actually very simple. So pretty much in the base, it's just so in the base, there we go. Alright, cool. So as we have, let me bring up the network tab. So we see that we're on the home page, correct? And you see that can't even get this moved over. Oh crap, let me just do this all over again. So you see that it makes a request for templates home.html, correct? So now let's see if everything works correctly. So let's do a search for iron. And we're almost there. Base URL is not defined. Why is it continue? It does not like me at all. I'm cursed. Sorry guys, I made another mistake. Oh, because this base URL. This is under page request. I moved base URL over here. So let's move this. Yeah, actually home controller doesn't need it at all. It doesn't use it at all. Alright, let's put this up here. There we go. Bam, there we go. Almost worked. Oh, I actually need to remodify this. So basically what happened is the proxy is trying to display, but we need to just send it back to the home page controller. So in a search, you send a request and it pass a callback function. And then if callback response.data data. Response.data is good enough. Log. Alright. That's what we do there. We pass it right there. Let me copy this stuff out. So in here we pass a callback function. And then you get data. And let's call it response. So this response should replace up to here. Alright, let's take a look. Almost there, that's okay. Alright, so this console log on response.data. It's there. So it's response.data. Oh, no wonder why. Yeah, no. Almost there, almost there. Results. LOI. There we go. Let's refresh. Now let's search for iron. We submit. And we got our results up, okay? That's good. Now, next part we're going to do this on template. So we have an image tag, which will wrap around an anchor tag. href is equal to slash, sorry, ng href is equal to character.id. That's what it should be. Let's double check it. Yeah, character.id. Good. And we do the same thing with our names. Put the names around anchor tags as well. Alright. So what we do is we'll do two examples. One example. Let's put tag iron. Alright, we click on that. Obviously, we don't have a view setup for this yet, so this doesn't work yet. So that is one example. Let me show you the ngRoute tab real quick. It goes to character.html. So what this is that we directly change the URL up here. Another thing we could do is this. Let's create a button right here. Button.ng click equals to the function that I created for it was called view character, and this be character ID. Alright, so this is the one. View character. Close this correctly. Class is equal to sorry, go back. Oh, almost there, almost there. Okay, so let's go back to iron again. We should have a bunch of buttons. Okay. Oh, apparently I put the wrong class. I think it's BTN. Okay, anyways, what this is right here is the other one I was showing you with you have a function in the home controller where you actually update the URL. So if I were to click this, it updates the URL accordingly. And if you go to the ngRoute tab, you see it does the whole thing. Okay, so let's go back here. Let's get rid of the button because we're not going to use the button right now. Alright, so the next part we need to do is work on the character controller. So basically what I want to show you here before we do anything else, let's just show you what the route param looks like. Okay, so let's go ahead and console log this. Right, have a console log, let's refresh it. So this is what you see right here. So you can see the ID matches the ID we have right here. Okay, alright, that is good. So what we need to do is let's create an init function. Alright, and the reason why is because when we're loading up this view, we actually need to fetch the character data. So we need to send a proxy request to the parent. So let's go in here. So when we have, so this will be a little bit different. So let's go to AP interactive documentation. So when we have the ID, instead of doing the characters, you do characters with the ID. Okay, so we take this and we're going to do alright, and then let's look at down here. So we pass the ID and you don't really need any other parameters in the so it's going to pass this. We could leave this empty. Okay, so we still have the callback function for the response. So we get the response back and then we could do some stuff with that. So let's do $sign scope dot character, and then we'll take a look at the response when we get that back. Okay, so let's take a look at it right here. Alright, okay, and let's go ahead. We're just going to refresh this page so we can get a look at that object. Okay, so for this right here, this console log, it's 107.98. Here it is, 98. Is here. So we still have, it's kind of the same setup as before. We still have the results array. So what we do is that if we have this and response data the results, and dot count is greater than 0. We have a data. So the data is this object right here, and the data dot count is greater than 1. I mean greater than 0. And the way we do is that we'll take this guy right here, and we have it equal to the first item in the array. Alright, so let's do that for here. That's good. And then that would be it for that. And let's keep this as an empty object right here. Alright. And then that would be for that part right here. So let's go refresh it. So now we have here, okay. Now let's go ahead and make this a little bit better. So for our lead image, we don't need our lead image to be the full width of the article. We will full width of the page, okay? So lead info. So what we do is this, we have a 4 column for that, and then we do 8 columns. So what we do is actually for 12 and 12, but for MD we do 4, and MD we do it for 8. Okay. And then what we do is let's go take a look at the object what we have in here. So to the left we'll have the character name. What we could do is on the right we could put a table, and then we could do 15. What we do is we put up here. What we're gonna do here? Okay, we can do this. TD. You could say no. We don't need no T head. Come on. Let's do TH. Here it could be name. And it's going to be ng bind is equal to character dot name. Okay. And then what we say is th last modify. Right. And then what we could do in here is put the last modified date in here. Ng bind is equal to character dot modify. I don't want it to be capital M, little m. And then what is the next item? Description of we have it. So let's call it about. So let's put that. Ng bind. I hope this does not have any HTML in there. So, but just in case it does, we trust Marvel, right? Alright, there we go. So let's just do a different character. Let's higher. Yeah, let's do this is Iron Man right here. Alright. Now let's go ahead and refresh this page. That doesn't have nothing in the description. Okay. Alright, cool. There's nothing in the description, so we'll just leave it like that. Oh well. And then we can worry about formatting later. So then probably what we do below here, after you row is going to be, I could put, we could do a stories list right here. L-I-N-G repeat is equal to character, story and character stories. Actually, we might skip stories because all it is nothing in there. What about series? Nothing in there. Hey, do we have nothing else we could use? I'm not even liking that character either. I want something with good data in there. There we go. Decent stuff. And we have stories in here. We have series, which is nothing. Stories, which is nothing. Let's see if we can find something that's with more stuff in it. Come on. So we did. Let's just go to Hulk. Alright, let's see what we have in here. Hulk. Yes, we have stories. It's nice. And this only returned 20 of them. Good. Alright, Hulk, we have resource URL, name, type, interior story. Oh gosh, this is actually going to be a pain. This is going to be a painful one to use. Alright, so the reason why I say this is painful because instead of having information about the story, what we have is actually the URL to get more information about the story. So the way I end up having to do it is take this URL, pass it back to the to that here. This is under, let me see. Pass the URL public series into here just to get information about the stories, and that could be a very expensive API call. And the reason I say expensive is because you did a call to get the whole character, and then you can do another each API call to get information about the series and stories, right? So you talk about that's 40 calls, so you're doing 41 calls just to get information about just the Hulk, and you're limited to 3,000 calls per day. So we probably get this. So what we're just gonna do is, instead of actually listing icons for these stories, we just list the names. All right. ng bind story dot name. There. That should be good. Alright. I'm gonna put this correct. Jeez, I can't even type anything today either. Alright, so let's refresh. Ugh. Almost there. We're in stories beyond. Oh, this is in stories. What did I mess up in here? Stories. Dot items. So we do stories dot items. Okay, that should be it. So interior. We could do this. Let's call this list right here. List. And then what we do is div class call sm12. So this is the stories. And then what we do is take this right here and we do series. Alright, so H3. And then H3 series. And then what we could do with that, not do 12s, make them 6. Right? Siri. Oh wow, I can't spell series correctly. Cause I know why I come to think about series like that, but it's not actually spelled like that. Here. For stories, SER series. Actually, what we'll do is make it, since they're the same format. Item, series, item, there we go. Now we got stories and we have series, okay? Yeah, looks good, right? I agree too, looks good. Okay. So let's kind of recap what we have here. Actually, let's do this. Before we do that, let's take the name out. Let's actually do, that's a row, leave, before we do table, h1, ngBind is equal to character.name. Alright, take that out here. Good, then text center. There we go. Looks better now. Alright, so let's kind of recap what we have going on here, okay? So let's go back to index.php and then we'll be go from the top. So here we load up the route, the ngRoute module. Here we actually loaded it as part of our Angular project. In here we pass in the configuration rules for it to work. And then, as you might have recalled, it failed the first time because we need the base URL. And basically the base tells Angular, more like the Angular route, of what is the home page URL, or what is the base URL. What is everything is going to be appended off from. Okay. So this is kind of like how normal routing works, where we have a :id, meaning that you're passed some kind of value as this variable. So whenever we load up character page, it actually will pass that ID as an object. So inside of character page controller, we get that argument route params, and then as we see, we console log it out, and we actually use that as part of an API pull. Okay. So the way it works is that when we load up the home page, it will load up the home page controller. With the home page controller, we could do search. So we want to search for door, we can search. And then when you click on here, so let's bring up the home. So when you click on the character, it changes the URL and put the ID in the URL. So we click on Thor, and it'll load up Thor, and actually will load us with information relevant to Thor. When we change the URL, ngRoute will say, that URL matches here, and therefore we need to load the template characters, that HTML, and we need to load the controller. For the controller, we need to load this character page controller. So which is when it switches over to this controller and load up this page instead. When you use ngRoute, you have only one view that you can use, which sucks a lot. But there's if you're crazy, there's actually ways to get around it to actually use multiple views, but that would be for when we do hacking with Angular. So that's be a future class. Alright, so that's what I wanted to show you guys right now. And if you guys have any questions or you need something more, please let me know. I'm definitely going to push this code to the GitHub account so that everyone can view it. Alright, until then, I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.